Safety. Anytime we have kids in our building, safety has to be our number one concern. That's the way that we keep them safe. That's the way we make sure that we give them back to mom and dad when they leave for the day. So safety comes before everything else. We have to make sure that our kids are safe. So here's a couple of things that we're doing to make sure that we do that. The first one is how we are rotating our stations. Making sure that we keep our stations rotating in a specific manner will help make sure that we're not mixing kids from different groups. The other way that we're going about that is every group is going to be color coded. So the groups and the group guides will be color coded. The kids will have a lanyard that has the color of their group. The guides will have a shirt that has a color of their group. So even though they have an animal that's assigned to their group as well, the color is going to be the easiest way to know who goes where. That way, if we have a kiddo who gets mixed from one group into another, we know immediately where that kiddo needs to go. The next thing that we're doing is making sure that we keep count of our kids at all time. We always have to know how many kids should we have and how many kids do we have. So when we're moving from one station to another, we need to make sure that we're counting them before we leave and we're counting them when we arrive. We're counting them when we leave the snack station, we're counting them when we arrive at the game station. And then you should count them in between as well. It seems redundant, but it's important because kids are fast and it only takes a second for one of them to run and for us to not realize that we've lost one. So counting helps us keep track of this. Each group will also have a clipboard. The clipboard is going to have the roster of the kids in their group. It's going to have their names. It will show who's been signed out. It will show when they're signed in. It'll show when they've been signed out. It's also going to have something at the bottom that's called name to face. So name to face is a way of keeping counts on kids in classrooms. So what we do is you have a list of the kids' names and you literally look for their face. So I'm going to look and I'm going to see Liam, there's his name, there's his face. Brianna, there's her name, there's her face. Joe, there's his name, there's his face. This helps us keep track of everyone. So each clipboard will also have spots for you to mark that off for each section. That way you can help keep track of kids. The more we count them, the better we know. So we always want to know how many kids we have, how many kids we should have, and where they are. We will also have a first aid bag for every group. The first aid bags will have ice packs, first aid kit, clipboards, and they'll also be what carries any of our emergency medication. We currently have 3 kids who are coming who have some form of allergy to tree nuts. Every one of those kids carries an EpiPen. Their EpiPen will go in the backpack and will be on the group guide's person everywhere we go to make sure that we have it in case of any type of emergency. We also will have a very specific check-in and check-out procedure. This will help us, number one, not only have a specific and accurate kid count, but it's also going to make sure that we only give the kids to the people who they should be going to. So I'll do a separate video on that, but that's going to be another crucial key component to keeping our kids safe. We want to count them. We want to move in a specific circle. We're color coding them. We're knowing how many people we have at all times. We're knowing where the groups are at all times, and we're keeping track of any of our kids who have any form of health issue. Also, those kids who have a health concern or who have a concern that people need to be aware of, it will be marked on their name tag so that we know that there's an area where we need to be cautious. Safety is crucial, so please help me do everything we can to keep our kids safe when they're with us in the building.